Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so we are at the French Creek State Park. It is about 26 degrees right now. I am by myself. And let's see, pan around. Nobody here, got the whole place to myself. See if anybody shows up. What I'm doing is I'm testing some of my very first reloads, see if they're any good. So what I'm shooting them in is my Smith & Wesson Model 29, 6.5-inch barrel blued, and I took a couple shots with it, not with the reloads, but with just some factory stuff to warm up the gun a little bit since it's 26 degrees. And here's the first couple reloads. We'll see what happens. Alright, position this. Now I got a target out there at 50 yards. Not quite sure how this stuff's going to pattern, like I said, first shot. So, but there is the target right there. So, right now it's a 240 grain jacketed flat nose. Some very bullets, and it's on a 22.5 grain charge of H110. So here goes nothing. Oh, and it's a Federal primer with Starline brass. So this should get at least something interesting going on. But let's load up. All right, we got 6. See, we're in frame. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so that was the first 6. Seems like they work pretty good. Kicks about as much as a standard 44 mag, maybe a little bit more than what I was just shooting. I was shooting a mixed box of old stuff, like I said, just wanted to warm up the gun a little bit. I don't shoot this that often. It's sadly kind of turned into a safe queen. But that's what happens when you want a gun for so long, you finally get it, and now you're afraid to you know, get it dirty. But I do bring it out every once in a while. So, well, I know a lot of people had asked to see me shoot the reloads, and I figured, hey, why not? So here I am shooting some of them. Now I'm going to see if anybody joins. I'm not going to be out here too long because, like I said, it is quite cold, and I actually just got done work, so I am kind of on the tired side. But we will load up 6 more. I'm actually glad these are working great because you never know going in starting something what's going to happen. But let's take 6 more shots. Do them in double action this time. Yep. So I'd call that a success. I gotta say, H110 seems to be a little on the dirty side, but for a first time reloading, I'm not complaining. Let's see. Alright, take a couple more shots. Now eventually what I hope to do is I hope to get into maybe making more range ammo like wad cutters and stuff, but I wanted to start with something fairly simple and close to factory before I go nuts. But we'll move the camera a little bit, see if maybe you can get a better range, better angle. That's a nice thing about being here by myself is nobody looks at you weird when you're talking to yourself. Now that one was a little light. That might have been a light charge. I do believe that was 6. Yep. Yeah, looks like a couple people joined. But yeah, they do seem to be working quite good. First attempt at reloading and first attempt at 44 mag. I was kind of curious starting out with 44 mag as my first caliber to reload. I'm sure someone probably would have been wiser to go with something a little more mundane, but you know what, why not go big or go home? But definitely not going to be out here too much longer because it is cold. Alright, another 6. Try two-handed this time. Yeah, nothing wakes you up after working a 12-hour shift like 44 Magnum, I will say. I was kind of tired getting here, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's gonna suck because I'm tired, but first couple shots of this and you definitely wake up, I will say. Better than a cup of coffee. I don't even drink coffee, so. But definitely seems to be dirty, I will say. Like I said, first time using H110, and they are pretty dirty. Now that might be maybe because the load isn't optimum. I did start with the, I think it was the Lyman book, which listed 22.5 as, oh hey Phil, what's up man? Trying out some of the reloads. Realizing how dirty they are, I'm thinking that maybe it didn't all burn, something like that. But like I said, first attempt, and they've all gone bang so far, so definitely no complaints there. Actually, the word you're looking for is cold, not cool. It's about 26 degrees here. Alright, another 6. Alright. Don't know if I'm hitting anything at 50 yards. I used to use H110 with my 357 since metered better. Well, the thing I read about H110 after I bought it, because I was at Cabela's, I was planning to get it unique, and they didn't have unique, and the guy told me H110. He told me 2400 was better than H110, but they didn't have it. And I was trying to do everything at Cabela's. I didn't want to have to run around, so I'm like, hey, it'll work, you know, I'll give it a shot. But I will definitely want to try more stuff, and looks like I will have to keep this pretty short because it would appear that the cold is sucking my battery. I got here at 70%. I just got the 20% warning, so that I've only got about 8 more shots. So I'll take these last 8 shots, and then I guess I'll wrap it up and go warm up and clean this. But first, I wouldn't mind seeing if I actually hit something. Like I said, I don't know where they're patterning or anything like that, but you never know. One thing I will say, it's really cool to be here when there's nobody here. This range is usually pretty active, but I guess being that it's only like 9 o'clock in the morning, I've got the whole place to myself, as you can see. Let's see, what was that? How do I bring up comments? Only switched to because my powder loader hated dropping H110. I'm using one of those, what is it, the Lee Perfect Powder Measures, and it seemed to drop pretty consistent loads, although I noticed, and I read this online, that sometimes they leak a little bit, like after I dropped it, like I guess, I don't know if it got stuck up in the measure or if it leaked out, but I had a little bit of powder on my workbench, so it was dropping consistent loads, but it was almost like the powder was so small that it was, I guess, seeping through the crevice. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. But last 2 of my reloads, now I do have a little bit more ammo with me, but like I said, my battery's almost dead. And take these last 2, and that'll be about it. But I do want to look into 2400 because it seems like a lot of people say 2400 is good, and also when I went through my multiple books. Yeah, see you later, Phil. Thanks for coming, man. But a lot of loads for Magnum use 2400. After about 30 rounds, H110 would come up on the dropper. Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice any gumming. Now, I didn't take it apart to see, but the thing I'm noticing is it's pretty dirty. I mean, I've only fired, I think I only had like 30 rounds with me, and the gun is pretty dirty. Now, that's not that big a deal. I'll take it home and clean it, but it doesn't, at least in this format, doesn't seem to be a very clean burn. But that could easily be something on my end. Like I said, you know, it's first shot, and I am using the starting charge because I didn't want to go crazy, and everybody says that there's very little wiggle room in H110, but yes, I'm using Federal Magnum primers. That was, I actually sat and Googled that in Cabela's because I got there and they had Magnum primers and they had large pistol primers, and I'm like, okay, what's, you know, and I'm thinking, I'm assuming I need Magnum primers, and then you had people back and forth on whether or not you needed one, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just go with Magnum primers? So I got Magnum primers. Yes, it is. Um, it's a 240 grain berries bullets flat point. Well, here actually I can. Rather than showing you that, I'll show you one of the last two I've got to fire off it. But it's the 240 grain berries bullets flat point. This happens, it's reload, but it's Starline brass, and then it's a Federal Magnum primer. But hang on, how do I make that come back up? That's kind of what I thought. Is like I said, it's probably, I'm figuring it's probably dirty because it's the starting charge. Like I said, I wasn't gonna go nuts, but like I said, I'm just noticing it's dirty, and I'm thinking that's probably it. But I do want to try 2400 just because, like I said, there's a lot of loads that, as I'm going through the books, use 2400, and I see a lot of people talking about it, so it's definitely something I want to try. I like H110. Yeah, it's amazing. That was one thing going online, was everybody's got their own little setup, and like as I kept Googling what's the best powder for this or that, you know, trying to get a baseline, and everybody's got their own little quirk. So I literally had someone tell me, just find what works in your gun. And I'm like, well, it's powder, I don't know. Just getting into this, but let me take these last two shots and go see if I hit anything. Probably not, but give it a shot. Here, I'll move back so. Gotta say, it's a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna have to start shooting this more often. I do not shoot it that often. I usually shoot my 69 because I carry it, but I might have to start shooting this more. Exactly, and that's what I'm noticing. Like, I was looking on the Reloading Network where they were talking about different loads and different this and different that, and everybody tries different. And that's the thing, is it's everybody's got their own little recipe. So I'm curious, once I get into it more, to start experimenting, because that's kind of what I wanted to do. Was I wanted to start being able to make like wad cutter range loads, something maybe a little less, you know, powerful for my 69, because that's only a 34-ounce gun. This handles magnums no problem all day long, but I wanted something a little bit lighter, but obviously better than a special. So yeah, but hang on, let me. Alright, so it looks like my battery's about to die. I'm gonna shut this down. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and I'm definitely glad that I got to come out here and shoot my first batch of reloads. And like I said, thanks everybody for showing up, and I will see you all later.